Hi, my name's Natalie, and I'm here to teach you today about how to use Trello to get on top of your workload. So whether you're studying GCSEs, A-Levels, or a university student, or just looking to get on top of your schoolwork, then I'm going to show you how to use Trello, which is a free online tool and app to get on top of your schoolwork. Why do we need to get on top of our schoolwork? Well, things get busy, particularly around exam periods, or if you're doing A-Levels, then sometimes it can feel a little bit overwhelming with all the different classes and assignments that you have to do. So the sooner we learn to get on top of our workload, the easier it's going to be in periods of pressure and stress. So why am I recommending Trello? Well, Trello is something that a lot of people use to manage their work. It's sort of better than just a to-do list. It has some added bonuses and features that are really good. I'm not affiliated with Trello in any way. I just found it really useful for managing my work, and I've taught other students how to use it too, and they find it really helpful, hence why I'm sharing it with you today. So what I've done is I've set up an example Trello board. This is set up as if you're an A-level student. I've set this up based on feedback from how my students use Trello and how I use it, to kind of give you an insight into the kind of things it does. So Trello is dead easy to use. You go to trello.com. It's free to set up an account. It's free to set up these things called boards. So a board is where you store all of your work related to a certain thing. So here you might have your studies. I, for example, have boards for different projects and different things that are going on, but you might put all your schoolwork on one board. I've broken it down into these lists. So we've got a list for each subject. So there's students studying maths, English, biology, and art. They've also got a list for anything relating to university applications. So if you're in the process of applying for universities or apprenticeships or jobs, you might have a list for that. And others. So here they've put something relating to DV. Maybe you've got a hobby, a club, volunteering work, other things that you need to think about that relate to school. In each list, we have these things called cards. Now in Trello, cards are really easy. You just drag and drop them around. You can move them into the different lists. They're super easy to create and manage. If I want to add a card, I just click add a card, press enter, and it adds the title for that card. Now, on the face of it, that's really simple and straightforward, and already that's really useful. We can create all our work that we have, our homework assignments, revision we need to do, and put it all in one place. But Trello is a bit better than just that. There's some extra features that we have that I'm going to talk you through now. So on Trello, I can add attachments. So for example, if I'm allocated a worksheet by my teacher, I might want to add that to my Trello board as an attachment so that I don't need to go and try and find it later, scan through my emails or anything like that. It's all there in one place. Particularly helpful if you're doing things like uni applications and you might want to attach copies of your personal statement so that you've got it there all in one place. Any letters or correspondence you have from universities, that can be super helpful. The next thing that I want to show you is you can add descriptions. You can add more detail to each of your cards. You can also in descriptions add hyperlinks. So you can link to external websites. So if you're revising something and there's a revision test externally, or some revision notes that you want to link to on a particular website, then you can do that in the description. Again, it keeps it all nice and handy in one place. We can also add a due date. So I can add a date and a time for when I want this piece of work to be done, particularly helpful for homework, but also helpful if you've got revision for a test. It will give you a due date and time, and you can set a reminder. So that will send a notification to you and sometimes an email to you if you choose to set it up that way, to remind you to complete that task. And you can choose to set that right before or a few days before, depending on when you want to. And when you complete it, it goes a lovely color green to show that you've done it. When I have completed a task, I can move it to the done column, and that's great for two reasons. Firstly, it clears out space for new things to come onto our board, so new pieces of work as we go through the week or through the month. Also, it looks really satisfying when you look in that done column and you can see everything that you've achieved in the past week or the past couple of weeks. However, when that column gets too full and gets too cluttered, we can archive all the cards in that list, and that gets rid of them for me leaving space for new ones. So it doesn't delete them, it just archives them. I can go back and retrieve them if I wanted to. A couple of other snazzy things that we can do in Trello. We can add labels. So for example, if I've got reading the chapter of atonement, that's due in for Mrs. Smith, I can add that label in there. I could label by subject if I was just putting all my work in not by subjects, by list. If I wanted to just chuck it all into a to-do list, for example, then I might label by subject, or I could label by test, homework, the type of work that it is. So you can color code things to make it a little bit easier for you to work out what each thing is. I can also copy and duplicate cards. So if I've got to read next week chapter 12 of Atonement, I can just duplicate that card with all its labels, with all its tags and everything, and then just update the description to say chapter 12 rather than chapter 11, saving me time. This is also really handy for prioritizing. So if I've got lots of work in one of my lists, I can move things up and down to try and highlight the priority. So I can make it nice and clear which order I need to do things in, which is really helpful when we're inundated with lots and lots of work. So that was a very quick run through of Trello. It's super easy to use. The other advantages is that because it's online and it has an app, you can use it on your phone. So if you wanted to use it on your phone in between lessons to add work into, that's really easy. And also it means you can access it from any computer, so you don't have to be on a particular device to use it, which makes it really, really handy for taking around and for using all over the place. I hope you found that useful. This is part of our series on study skills. So if you have any study skills that you're worried about, have any questions on Trello or any feedback, please pop them in the comments below. But otherwise, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next session.